It's weekend time. It's time when we all go to the movies, or some of you go to the movies. I'm kind of giving up on them. But a guy who isn't giving up on them is Michael Snyder out there on the left coast. Hello, Michael.
Why, hello, Alex. Greetings from Hollywood. Hello, New York and the rest of the world. Yes, I am putting on the yoke on a regular basis and sitting through movie after movie just so you don't have to. Shall we get to things that are opening this weekend?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with something from some of the people who brought the world the Despicable Me movies and those little Universal Pictures cash calves, the Minions. It's The Secret Life of Pets, which is an animated comedy wherein the animals speak. It centers on a happy-go-lucky terrier named Max, who invites his friends to hang out at his place, a nice apartment in New York, during the day, while his owner, who's a nice young woman, is at work. So interspecies fun ensues. I mean, cats, gerbils, and budgies are welcome, until his owner brings him a new roommate, a big, ungainly rescue adoption animal named Duke. So this movie basically takes the verbalizing of dog behavior that worked as a great gag in Pixar's Up and goes full bore into a feature that features a hero's journey, embroiling our good guy apartment dog Max in a ramble through, above, and under the streets of New York and Brooklyn after he gets into a conflict with his new roommate Duke. So Louis C.K. voices Max. Very, very good. And Eric Stonestreet from Modern Family is the ungainly Duke. Albert Brooks is on board. Steve Coogan, Dana Carvey. Kevin Hart plays sort of a violent pet rabbit who's leading an insurrection against humans because he's leading essentially pets that were discarded, and they're angry and they're out for revenge. So you have all these different strains coming together. And actually, I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I expected I would. But let's point out that the film is directed by Chris Renault, who has done the Despicable Me movies, and he's got a real way about him. I kind of enjoy these a lot more than, say, the more stately films like Brave from Pixar. You know, a little vulgarity and a little fun goes a long way, but this is not a great film. This is an entertaining film and a solid family film, The Secret Life of Pets. I wish I could be more excited about Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. It's an ostensible relationship comedy starring Zac Efron and Adam Devine as a couple of brothers who place an online ad to find dates for a wedding and get more than they bargained for. A couple of cheerful slut types played by Aubrey Plaza and Anna Kendrick. I mean, really, I wish this had been a lot more funny. As it is, the energy expended by the four main actors seems for nothing, since the characters, as written, often come off as cardboard or knee-jerk zany with these traits that seem to come out of nowhere. The boys need dates for their sister's Hawaiian wedding, and they end up with the two girls who are kind of loser besties and Hooters-level waitresses because the girls want a free vacation. I guess the women are meant to be as vulgar, scatological, and sex-obsessed as their male counterparts in lowbrow bro comedies, but they came off as gamey rather than game for a good time. Everybody's motivations, including the brothers, their sister and her fiancé, the parents of the brothers, including the great Stephen Root as dad, and the girls seem overly contrived, and there's a sort of desperation and relentless hysteria that the script and actors try to build on, and it's just exhausting rather than hilarious. There were a couple good jokes, and Pretty Boy Efron is proving to be pretty good at comedy, but everybody else seems to be embarrassed, or maybe they should be, by the pandering nature of this. I think Aubrey Plaza and Anna Kendrick deserve better, although I'm kind of getting tired of Anna Kendrick. Ultimately, no, I would not go on this date. Captain Fantastic, on the other hand, is one of the better films I've seen lately. It has nothing at all to do with the mediocre Elton John album, Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy, other than a surplus of dirt in the movie's initial setting. In Captain Fantastic, the movie, Viggo Mortensen plays Ben, a smart, super fit, anti-establishment, back-to-the-land type who's happily raising his 6 kids in the mountains and forests of the glorious Pacific Northwest while mom is elsewhere. The kids, ranging in age from kindergarten to their late teens, are homeschooled but smart, well-read, and very able to survive in the wilderness. It's kind of idyllic. They're like the Swiss Family Robinson, or maybe the Von Trapps, with all the climb every mountain stuff, minus World War II and the Nazis. But a tragic event forces Ben and his brood to reconnect with the outside world, and also forces him to reevaluate whether the life he's chosen for the kids is fair to them. Steve Zahn and Catherine Hahn, Zahn and Hahn, are the kids' conventional aunt and uncle. Frank Langella and Ann Dowd are grandfather and grandmother. The film was written and directed by actor Matt Ross, who plays the fatuous, arrogant, and delightfully hateful Gavin Belson, head of Hooli on HBO's Silicon Valley. If this movie is any indication, he is a hell of a filmmaker. Everybody's performances are first rate. Mortensen is wonderful. Langella and Ann Dowd, you can always count on them. And the kids are unobnoxious and wonderful. I really thought Captain Fantastic was a good film. And yes, it'll play well at home on video, but I really want to encourage people to see it if they can. Let's wrap it up with 0 Days, which is the work of acclaimed documentary filmmaker Alex Gibney, who takes on the topic of the American-Israeli malware Stuxnet that was deployed to destroy Iranian enrichment centrifuges, and of course, collateral civilian damage resulted. The movie 0 Days is asking a lot of questions, and it felt like it was trying to use a lot of scare tactics, but seemingly offered no cogent conclusions nor potential answers to the problem about the proliferation of computers and the ease with which they monitor, control, and endanger lives. It's a crucial global threat, and one that's so omnipresent and dangerous to freedom that it needs to be addressed. But this movie, despite its in-depth interviews with all sorts of creepy people at all sorts of levels of government and journalism, kind of left me a little befuddled and hanging. I mean, it's the world of cyber war, and man, this is something we have to all be cognizant of. But at the same time, I just felt kind of like it was a little on the fuzzy side, and I just, there's so many different agendas here, and I guess someone used the phrase Pandora's box as indicative of cyber warfare, and boy, it's the truth. I mean, I think people should see the film, but it wasn't up to my expectations, and it didn't truly and ultimately satisfy me. I just do want to mention in passing a kind of a cool DVD that's available right now, because it's something that's in my wheelhouse. It's called Comics Beyond the Comic Book Pages, and it's a documentary about the comics and their fans, and it features, a lot of the usual suspects with interviews, including Stan Lee and Frank Miller and Neil Adams and other folks, and of course the fans, cosplay, Comic-Con hysteria. It's a lot of fun, and it's pretty exhaustive and extensive. So if it's your sort of thing, I do recommend Comics Beyond the Comic Book Pages. And that's about it at this end. What do you got, buddy?
There's a show they're running. It ran last year in England, and it's been canceled, by the way. But they're running the 7 episodes of it on Hulu, and it's not bad. It's called Banished. And
really? What's it about?
It's about the first people as prisoners to be sent to Australia by England, and the relationship that they have between themselves, who are kind of working as slave labor and as prostitutes, and the soldiers themselves who were there to guard them. And I liked it a lot. It's just a shame they canceled it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's an interesting topic that hasn't been really addressed in contemporary culture that much. So,
Right.
Wow.
Right.
I'd be interested in checking that out.
BBC killed it after 1 year. BBC's in a lot of financial trouble. I think that's the reason why. But anyway, that's it. Tell them where they can find you.
Check in with me on Twitter at Culture Blaster, and on Facebook at Michael Snyder's Culture Blast page. Like it, check into the interviews and reviews, and we'll see you, or you'll hear from me next week, I hope.
Thank you very much, Michael. And there is, of course, more GABNet coming right up.